Hi everyone, my name is Kaelyn. I'm a student ambassador here at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, and I'm going to be leading a virtual campus tour for all of you today. A little bit about sort of what I'm involved in here on campus. So like I said, I am an admissions ambassador, and I help out with some campus tours and virtual sessions we've been holding. I am also involved with Greek Life, the Women's Mentoring Program, and some intramural sports. I've also done a little bit of undergrad research since I've been here on campus. I am a rising senior studying biology, so I'm going to talk a bit about our campus today and some of my experiences as a student. So we're going to head up to Freshman Hill here. This is where the majority of our freshman cohort does live their first year here on campus. You are required to live on campus both your first and second year, in addition to the summer you're on campus for your summer arch program between your sophomore and junior year. The structure you see in front of us is Barton Hall. That is one of our residential halls here on Freshman Hill. It is a suite style triple setup. So you do have two roommates. So there's three of you in the room. There's a bathroom connected to your room, and then there's another three individuals living on the other side of you. So the six of you share that one bathroom. That bathroom is cleaned by our RPI staff once a week, so you don't ever have to worry about cleaning your own bathroom, which is super nice. The Barton suite style setup is a little bit more unique for our freshmen. More of the traditional dorming style is our standard double setup with a hall style bathroom. So I actually lived in Hall my freshman year. We like to call it Hall Squared on campus, but I was in a room with one other person. So I had one roommate, and like I said, the bathroom was a hall style setup. So basically the building was kind of divided up into an L shape, and one wing was for females, the other wing was for males. And the hall style bathroom on your wing had 5 sinks, 5 showers, 5 stalls, so plenty of room for everyone. I can say that I never had to wait for a shower or anything like that. Everyone's kind of on their own schedule, so you never really run into any big issues there. Those bathrooms are also cleaned by our RPI staff. So in terms of housing and living on campus as a freshman, it really comes down to, are you looking for more of that suite style triple setup with 2 roommates, or just the standard double setup? Some of those doubles will have privacy divider walls in the middle of the room. Some of them also could have a bathroom connected to the room depending on the layout of the building. But like I said, pretty much they're all just mirror images of each other. But that is a little bit about kind of living on campus as a freshman. Also on Freshman Hill, we do have Commons Dining Hall. That is one of our main dining halls here on campus. We have 4 in total. So in addition to Commons, we have Russell Sage Dining Hall, which is more on the academic side of our campus that we'll pass a bit later. We also have our Bar H Dining Hall, which is up in our East Campus Athletic Village, as well as Blitman Dining Hall down on the outskirts of downtown Troy. So we do kind of have 2 components of our meal plans in general, meal swipes and flex dollars. Those meal swipes are used at all of our dining halls. You walk in, swipe your ID, and off you go. Buffet style setup with a lot of different food options for you. Your flex dollars are more kind of a la carte, grab and go meal options. So we have a lot of different cafes around our campus in the library, as well as some food vendors down in our student union that you can use those flex dollars on. Moe's down on 15th Street also takes flex. So generally speaking, the more flex dollars you have, the less meal swipes, and vice versa. So you can kind of pick and choose the meal plan that works best for your lifestyle. I can say personally that I am the type of person that likes 3 meals a day and likes to sit down and have them. I'm not really a big coffee drinker or snacker. So the meal swipes were a little bit more appealing for me, and I ended up having a little bit less flex dollars on my meal plan. So we are going to head over to our Mueller Center gym. This is just kind of across the parking lot from our Freshman Hill. This is our main gym down here on campus. We also have some facilities up in our East Campus Athletic Village that you'll see a bit later on in the tour that a lot of our athletes use. But our Mueller Center gym here is completely free and usable for all of our students. You'll see here on the first floor when you walk in, there's a lot of different cardio machines and weight machines. Down on the floor below this one, we have a free weights area. In the floor above, we have several different studio style spaces for different yoga classes. kickboxing, Pilates, self-defense classes, you name it. So that's where a lot of those kind of extracurricular classes happen. We do not have a physical education requirement on campus, so all of those classes that I just mentioned are really just volunteering your time to sign up for them and kind of just take them for fun. I actually took a kettlebell kickboxing class my sophomore year. So it was a pretty cool experience and just a great way to stay active. Pretty low time commitment as well. I'll talk a bit more about athletics once we kind of get up into our East Campus Athletic Village. So next up, we are in our Center for Biotechnology and Interdisciplinary Studies, otherwise known as CBIS. This building is solely designated for research on our campus, which is really exciting, and this was something that was super attractive to me when I visited campus, being that I am a biology major and was pretty interested in doing some research on campus. So this building, we do not have any classes in. It's just a bunch of open lab spaces as well as some offices for department heads and some of our teaching assistants and grad students. So this is really the primary use of the building. I did have the opportunity to do some research in the COFIS lab this past spring semester, working on some osteoarthritis treatments, which was really neat. Definitely, if you have the chance to come to campus, I really do recommend checking out this building. As you can see, it's really appealing to the eye and also just really neat in terms of all the resources we have within it for research. Next up we have is Academy Hall. Academy Hall is a pretty important building on our campus. It is home to our registrar office as well as financial aid in our health center. So if you are ever feeling sick or unwell while you're on campus, you can make an appointment with our health center and they'll definitely check you out and prescribe you with any antibiotics or medications you might need. With that being said, all of our students are required to have some form of insurance while they're on campus, whether that be through RPI's insurance plan or a personal plan. I can say that Samaritan Hospital is also right down the street from us. It's down the hill from our East Campus Athletic Village, definitely only about like a 10-minute walk or so from Freshman Hill. So nice and close for you if you ever did need more serious medical attention. So here we are at our home to our School of Science, which is our Johnson Rowland Science Center. I have had a couple of labs within the building. I know our physics department also holds some lecturing labs in there as well, and our computer science department is also housed within the building. I can say that just because this technically is the main building that my department is in as a biology major does not mean that I spend all of my time here on campus. I think our registrar office does a really good job at allowing students to move around throughout campus and have classes in a variety of different buildings, which is really nice. It allows you to see a lot of different faces and, like I said, kind of move about such a pretty campus. So here we are in our Experimental Media and Performing Arts Center, otherwise known as MPAC. This is our main concert hall here on campus. It's a really incredible building because of how well it was engineered. It's very acoustically sound. Someone could be standing on the stage down there, like the individuals here, and can be heard in the back row of seats without a microphone. So that really speaks a lot just to how quiet the concert hall is. It's hard to kind of express without being in person just how great of a building MPAC is for sure. A lot of our architecture students also do some research within the building on lighting and acoustics. A lot of our symphonic bands and a cappella groups will perform here in the concert hall. And we also have a lot of outside events that come into the concert hall throughout the semester to put on for students. So it's really nice to be able to just have such a great resource on campus, also considering that we're more of a STEM school. This really allows students to express more of the arts, which is really great. So we are outside of the Folsom Library. This is our main library here on campus. Obviously, there are plenty of books within the building since it is a library, but there's a lot of other resources for you in there as well. So on the first floor, when you walk in, there will be a cafe on your left-hand side. That's one of those cafes you can spend your flex dollars on. From there, On the bottom floor, we do have our main tutoring center called ALAC. So if you are ever struggling with a course or might need a little bit of help on homework, you can go down there to our advising learning center and they can help you out. I think ALAC really speaks a lot to the collaborative environment that we have here on campus because the tutoring center is essentially run by students on campus. So students that have previously taken courses volunteer their time to help others understand the same material that they were learning not too long ago, which is really great. I can say too that I spent some time there, when I was taking Calculus 1 as a freshman, but also when I took organic chemistry as an upperclassman, I also utilized our tutoring center. So they do support you throughout your 4 years while you're on campus. Our library does have a handful of study rooms on every single floor for group work, or even if you just want to quietly study with a group of friends. And we also have plenty of individual tables and desk spaces for you if you just kind of want to be more on your own. But obviously our library is more of our kind of quiet study environments on campus. You'll see our student union a little bit later on in the tour. That's a little bit more of a social environment for studying. Our Voorhees Computing Center is a chapel-looking building that you can see across from our library. It's important that we have this building on campus because we do have a laptop requirement for all of our students. So you will have to have some sort of laptop with you when you come to campus, whether that be one you bring from home or one you purchase through the school. When I came in as a freshman, I ended up purchasing a Lenovo ThinkPad. They had 3 different models to choose from. One of them was a 2-in-1 tablet. Another option was just a traditional laptop, and then a third option was more of a bulky, heavy-duty laptop option for a lot of our computer science majors. So it's a pretty nice package. It comes with all of the software you'll ever need while you're on campus, as well as a pretty nice RPI backpack if that's any incentive for you to purchase the laptop. But our computing center is there if you ever have any technical difficulties or computer problems. They will definitely take a look at your computer for you for free and check it out and try and diagnose it if they are able to do so. So next up is our Pittsburgh building here. This is home to our Lally School of Business. It is a pretty great building because they have a live stock market that is constantly up on the wall on a big screen, so students can constantly keep an eye on the stocks. I know a couple business majors that are pretty into that, so it is really neat and kind of aesthetically pleasing to have that within our Pittsburgh building. Sage Laboratory is home to our Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences School, otherwise known as HAAS. So all of our students are more than welcome to major in our humanities school, but if you choose not to do so, you will be required to take 24 credit hours of elective courses from our humanities school. So that typically adds up to about 1 humanities elective per semester up through your junior year on campus. I ended up pretty much fulfilling all of my humanities electives at this point and had some room in my schedule actually to add on a psychology minor, which is pretty neat. I only needed a couple more psychology classes to do so. So I think our humanities school is great because it allows you to kind of get a little taste of that liberal arts in kind of curriculum, but it doesn't overload you too much since most of our students are engineers on campus or within the School of Science or more focused on the STEM field. So I've taken everything from economics to some different cognitive science courses. I know some students have also taken African drumming. If you're looking to learn how to play a new instrument, you can take some lessons for that instrument and count it as a course, which is pretty neat. So there's a lot of really neat options within our Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences school. One of the requirements that you will have to meet is a communication intensive requirement. So you will have to take 1 humanities elective that involves you doing some writing. We like to say that our engineers or scientists or businessmen or women or architects won't be effective at their jobs if they can't communicate their ideas clearly and efficiently. So that is kind of the thought process behind that requirement. You can definitely take more of a creative writing side of the course requirement, or you can tailor it a little bit more to your major. I've never been a super creative person and didn't really want to go the creative writing route, so I actually took my communication intensive course in just like science journal review, So we read a bunch of different journal articles and summarized them and talked about them and wrote about them in class. So it was a pretty cool experience, but yet still pretty connected to my major, which I really liked. So our green building is home to our architects on campus. You'll see here actually one of our studio style spaces, which is pretty neat. Our architecture program is a 5-year accredited program, so that is definitely something I do like to point out. If you're not so interested in the design side of architecture, we do also have a building sciences major that is 4 years. That is a bit more focused on the materials and kind of the, I guess, impact that buildings have on the environment as opposed to actually designing the buildings. So here again, you can see some of our architects hard at work. Our architecture program is a little bit different, being that it is very much design focused, like I mentioned. So a lot of our architecture students will be designing different models in buildings throughout the semester. They will work on these projects again for the whole semester, and then have large pin-up sessions at the end and present their semester's work. So they will be taking some lecture, electives and some other lecture courses within the architecture school, but the main kind of foundation of the curriculum for them is going to be project-based and based on models that they design and build. So here we have our 86 field donated by the class of 1886. This is kind of just our version of a quad on campus that every college campus seems to have. You'll see a lot of students out there playing Frisbee or laying in some hammocks, that kind of thing. It's a really just nice green space to have here on our campus. A lot of times too, throughout the school year, we'll have different larger events. So we've had like Meet the Greeks out here on the 86 field, and sometimes our Relay for Life fundraising also happens here out on the field. So a lot of really different, I guess, ways to utilize the space. It was actually once our football field back in the day, until we realized it was a bit distracting to have a big football game going on in the center of our academic campus. So we did decide to build our East Campus Athletic Village. So our Johnson Engineering Center is next on the tour here. This is home to our School of Engineering on campus. Within the building, we do have our main Swanson Design Lab that a lot of our students utilize throughout their capstone course their senior year. Before you sort of take that capstone course, though, you will be directly immersed into engineering your first semester as a freshman through our Intro to Engineering Analysis course, otherwise known as IEA. So IEA is pretty much a cross between a physics course and a math course that you would normally take in high school. It deals a lot with vector manipulation and kind of allows you to develop those foundational engineering skills right off the bat as a freshman. It's also nice too because it exposes you to that engineering. So if you end up not liking it, you can kind of find out early on and act accordingly. But after you sort of take Intro to Engineering Analysis, your sophomore year, you typically take Intro to Engineering Design, or IED. That is a bit more project-based in terms of the course structure. So you will be paired up with all different types of engineers. So you might be an aeronautical engineering major working with a chemical engineer, all on the same project. So the first half of the course, you will be designing a robot line follower or a marshmallow launcher. And that'll kind of be your mini project that you'll work on to get to know your group members. And then from there, for the rest of the semester, you will be given the task of designing a solution to a problem that you currently see in the world. So my roommate actually, when she took Intro to Engineering Analysis, her group decided to design a parachute system for your phone case. So, if your phone fell and the case was not protective enough, that this parachute would kind of deploy off the back of the phone case. So throughout the course, you will prototype each kind of design idea you have and just go through the design process throughout the course, which is really neat. And again, it allows you to have more of a hands-on kind of exposure to our engineering curriculum. Once you take Intro to Engineering Design, though, again, your senior year, you will have your culminating capstone experience. All of our schools have their own version of capstone, but this is the version that is specific to our engineering students. So we work with real-world engineering firms and companies, that have projects or kind of problems that they've been trying to solve that might be on the back burner for the company or might be a bit lower on funding. And those companies will give those projects directly to our engineering students to solve for the semester. So you get credit for that coursework and also have direct contact with real world engineers while you're so close to graduation. So the thought process is that helps you build your network and also, again, get a glimpse of what the real world is like. My friend, he actually was a biomedical engineering major that just graduated, and for his senior capstone course, they actually worked with a surgeon at Albany Med to work on knee implants and whatnot. So it was really neat for them to be able to kind of see their education in the classroom come full circle in the real world. So here is our Darrin's Communication Center, otherwise known as the DCC. This is the building that a lot of our larger lecture halls are housed in. So your chemistry one, calculus one courses will typically be within our Darrin Communication Center. So within the Darrin's Communication Center, we also have another cafe in there for you to spend some of your flex dollars. On the bottom floor of the DCC, we also have our Center for Career and Professional Development. Our Career Center puts on several different career fairs throughout the school year, one in the fall and one in the spring semester. A ton of alumni come back from very reputable companies to essentially recruit RPI students for internships and co-ops and full-time jobs as well. So it's a really great way to be able to talk to people that were in your shoes not too long ago, recruiting for some amazing companies. Every year, like General Electric, American Airlines, all sorts of really nice big name companies come to campus to recruit RPI students. Our Career Center also can help you with some interview prep as well as resume critiques. So they are there for you as a resource to use when you're looking for those different post-graduation opportunities. So this here is a common space you'll see right when you cross over our footbridge. So to orient you a little bit, our footbridge does cross over 15th Street, which is the main street that cuts through the center of our campus. On this side of the footbridge that we're on is the academic side with all of our academic buildings, and then the other side is where the Mueller Center gym is, as well as Freshman Hill. So it's kind of nice to have that division between where you live and where you walk over to come to class. But off on the left-hand side, we do have our Russell Sage dining hall over there. So that is, like I mentioned earlier, one of our other dining options on campus. It is set up very similar to Commons Dining Hall with a buffet-style setup. Quad residential area is over here on the left as well. That's where a lot of our sophomores will choose to live when they're on campus. Quad does have doubles as well as singles for you, and it is personal preference for kind of how you want to choose to live your sophomore year. So here's a better look at, again, our quad residential area. This is one of my favorite spots on campus because it is just so pretty with all of the trees and everything. And again, right here, kind of next to quad is the back of Russell Sage Dining Hall. So this is our student union. Specifically, we are in the McNeil room here. This is really the hub of student life on campus. A lot of times you'll see students come into the union in between classes, just hang out, do homework together. Again, it is really a nice social environment if you want to come and work on a group project together or that kind of thing. In addition to that, we do have Panera Bread right here in the McNeil room for you. Then the floor below us, we do have Father's Marketplace, which is kind of a convenience store and a little like grab-and-go cafe, as well as a pizza place, a burger place, and a Mediterranean food place down on the bottom floor for you. So kind of a lot of nice different options that you can use in terms of dining. All of these food vendors will take your flex dollars as well, so you can choose to use them that way. So we have made it up into our East Campus Athletic Village. This is essentially just even higher than our normal campus. So campus is on a hill that overlooks downtown Troy. Then our East Campus Athletic Village is up another hill. So it really is a pretty view from all the way up there. Like I mentioned, a lot of our athletic teams will spend a lot of their time here up in the East Campus Athletic Village. I have a friend, she's out on the basketball team and is always at ECAV for practice and whatnot. But in terms of athletics on campus, we have the varsity level, which is, again, what I mentioned. We are Division III across the board with the exception of men's and women's hockey, which is Division I. And then from there, kind of a level lower than that is our club level sports. So a little less competitive. Typically, our club teams will have tryouts, and you can just kind of walk on the team from there. Our club teams will compete against other schools within the area, so you will sometimes commute for games on the weekends, but it won't ever be a super kind of long drawn out commute or anything like that. We try and play local schools. Typically you'll have for practice once or twice a week, maybe 3 times, but definitely not nearly as intensive as our varsity level sports. Even below that, we have our intramural sports program. So that's really designed for students just to try a new sport for the first time, or maybe play a sport that they used to play in high school but don't want to play it at such a competitive level. So it's really nice to be able just to get a group of friends together and form an intramural sports team. There's a ton of different intramural options for you every single semester. I've played everything from intramural volleyball through my sorority up till intramural ice hockey with a group of friends a couple semesters ago. So really a lot of neat opportunities for you there. But that does bring us back to the beginning of the tour today. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and following along with me. I hope you guys have the ability to visit campus soon, and I wish you all the best of luck. Have a good day.